I enjoy making people laugh. I enjoy doing the comedy videos. I really make sure that I don't branch out into something and try something or do something that just doesn't feel right. Or like, I'm not going to do any cooking tutorial videos because I'm not a chef. I'm not going to do any haircutting tutorial videos because I'm not a barber. My point in that is like, if your thing isn't to be funny, don't try to go be funny and make that your thing, because if it doesn't feel natural to you, then it's not going to be fun and it's not going to work. Do it because you enjoy doing it, and if it turns into a job for you, then go with it.
Well, it's really cool because you do have a good following, but your content is great. And then, I've heard from numerous business owners that influencers have been way more effective in conversion for purchasing than ads have been recently and other things. And so it's awesome that you're getting to connect with them. And it's cool because you also get some good stuff. Like now you got a barrel instead of having to put your hand in a freezer.
Yeah, that's right. Now I've got a barrel and now I have to use the barrel. So it's like led me to like actually having to do cold therapy, which has been helpful for my health,
Yeah. It's fucking good. Well, I want to turn back to the pickleball thing. So pickleball, I found out. So I was at South by Southwest, and obviously I've heard of pickleball. I hadn't played it, and they were having like a match there, and it was some of the professionals that were playing. And we're sitting there, and my buddy and I start talking to this guy, and he was like the director or like the head of whatever the biggest league is for pickleball right now, the one that's like kind of starting to come out as the front runner, as like going to be the league. I can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
But he's chatting with us.
There's two really, the MLP and the PPA. But the MLP is actually started by a guy named Steve, who is from Austin. So I bet it was Steve.
Oh, it might have been him. That may have been who it was. So we're chatting with him and find out it's like the fastest growing sport like on the planet at this point. It's just skyrocketing. And it's also a ton of fun when I got to play it. But how did you start? Like, what was the entrance for you? Did you start playing it first, or was it similar to CrossFit? You made fun of like some of the funny things first, and then you started to play it. Like, how'd that pan out for you?
No, I was playing it. I had gotten into playing it through some friends that introduced me to it, and fell in love with it. I really was enjoying playing with it.
Fun.
And then, but it's a lot of fun, and it was helping like with my cardio, and all that stuff, because it is fair. It's pretty active, especially you play outside in the heat, like here in Alabama, where it's burning up hot and humid. You're out there sweating and playing, So it was just doing a lot of things for me. It was a fun way to find a way to do cardio, and then you just fall in love with the sport. At least I did. But that led me to one day I was doing the fitness videos, and I had started this series of like your friend that just started running, your friend that just started weightlifting, your friend that just started cold plunging. So I was like, I'm gonna do your friend that just started playing pickleball. And actually, I made another video today that's coming out tonight with my paddle sponsor. That's kind of along the same lines because I haven't done that theme in a while. But and it did well. It took off and started getting approached. I didn't realize how big it was and how fast it was growing and how much people were investing into it until the first video I made, where I started getting reached out, and that's when I really actually started first getting paid from companies to make videos for them. Was through the pickleball stuff.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Like, how quick has it been for you to get approached after making this stuff? Was it a while? Like, were you doing this for a while, or was it pretty quick because they saw like how much you were getting the outreach?
Yeah, I was amazed at how fast it moves. It can move very fast. Like, now I had to grind in the beginning. I really got my start on TikTok, and I was like grinding to grow a following on TikTok, and I had some funny stuff, my single mom comedy stuff, where it's like trying to get the single mom next door to notice you,
funny,
That's what hit for me first was that on TikTok, really. Yeah. And so I started to grow, and that kind of gave me the like, okay, I can make something that's funny to people and that's people are going to follow me for and that kind of stuff. And so it just started there and then sort of led to me trying these different things that I thought would be funny. And I did a your friend that just started running video, and it's basically me in some Ranger panties, and like running and like stretching and like talking about the grundle region and how important it is to grease the grundle before you run. And, and Brooks Running Company, a representative from Brooks reached out to me and just wanted to send me some Brooks stuff because they got a kick out of the video. And I was like, well, that's cool. I'm about to get some free Brooks running shoes out of this. And they sent a couple pairs of shoes and some shorts, and, and they've done it a couple times. And then at the end of 22, they even sent me a little plaque that said Brooks Running 2022 Influencer of the Year. So they came up with like a funny little award. They were a big supporter. But so then as I made the Your Friend That Just Started Pickleball video, that's when a company that was like kind of a blog site, it's actually called Pickleball Union. They're still, going today. They're kind of like a pickleball news, all things pickleball news, blog, website, whatever, newsletter. They reached out and hired me, to make videos for them as they were getting started. So I think we did like a 20 video deal right off the bat. And I made and produced 20 videos for them over about 3 or 4 months. And after that, as that was happening, it was just started flooding in like pickleball paddles, people wanting me to use their paddle in a video, this and that. And I just kept hammering the pickleball thing, man.
Yeah.
And it's continued to grow to where I could get a paddle sponsor, and I've actually got a ball sponsor, and I've got, a coffee company that's involved in the pickleball space sponsors me now. So it's funny because the guy that has the paddle company, Valère, that I work with out of Austin, he was like, man, you're going to be the highest paid pickleball athlete and you don't even play pickleball professionally.
That's true. That's true.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. So dude, it's been really good to me, man.
You find gold, bro. And what I love about it is like, you don't do it as like a paid advertisement. Like what you do is you make a funny video about it. And then obviously the product is in there and it's featured, but it's not like in your face, like go buy this right now. Like you don't do that. And I appreciate you still hold to your content as being content, as being not an ad, right? And so I think that's going to be part of your continued success because it's gold. It's freaking hilarious. You make really fun. I saw the ball one recently where you're taking the ball and hitting it with your hand and you're like, they tell you the paddle's supposed to be part of your hand.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's been fun about it. And as these companies have approached me, it's like the companies that I work with, all the ones that I do work with have approached me on the basis of like, we don't want to change what you're doing at all.
Yeah.
Cool. We want you to just use our product as you're doing it. Would it be a good fit? And we have that conversation. And cause that was the biggest thing. It's like, I don't want to be just some sellout ad page where, cause no one's going to want to follow. Like, I enjoy the comedy about it. Obviously doing this full time, you've got to figure out a way to get paid doing it, and, so that was kind of a unique, relationship I've kind of tried to form with these companies. It's like, I'm going to keep my same comedy shtick and let's use your product while I'm doing that video and figure out how to make that work,
Yeah, that's really cool, man. And the fact that you have kept it, it really shows. And it's like, it's not like you're finding gold every time. Like the paddleball ones don't get old. The freaking ice bath ones are hilarious. The mom ones, the single mom ones are hilarious. Like it's just, you're getting up gold. So keep doing what you're doing on that front. Cause that's definitely like, it doesn't feel dry. It feels like you're going back and finding new funny things to put out there. Good. It makes me fucking laugh every time. And I still send them to all my buddies. So
yeah, well, I appreciate it big time because that's the hard part you think about is like people still finding this funny or people still, and I try to keep it enough different to where, mix it in to where it is still entertaining and it's not just the same stuff over and over. So I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think the intermingling of the fitness too has been a solid approach for you. That was really cool. Like to watch you do, because I have so many friends who are CrossFit. So when you make fun of the CrossFit stuff or like the personality you've created for like the CrossFit, it's just they're shaking their head because they know it's true and it's just hilarious. They're like, oh yeah. So I love that, man. Well, what do you have for, so obviously this world that we're living in, the evolution of the world is social media. It's interfacing with social media to create some form of outward appearance or influence, whatever it is people are looking for. What's something, because you've blown up your brand, you're funny, you've started to make some good money partnering with businesses but holding to your brand. What's something you can give out to people who are looking to do something similar but they don't really want to lose themselves, kind of like you didn't? They don't want to lose their brand, or they don't want to lose themselves. What's something you can kind of offer them?
So for me, that's the biggest thing that I had to remember was, one, I continue to do this, and this is such a blessing because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy making people laugh. I enjoy doing the comedy videos. I really make sure that I don't branch out into something and try something or do something that just doesn't feel right. Or like, I'm not going to do any cooking tutorial videos because I'm not a chef. I'm not going to do any haircutting tutorial videos because I'm not a barber. So, and my point in that is, like, if your thing isn't to be funny, don't try to go be funny and make that your thing, because if it doesn't feel natural to you, then it's not going to be fun and it's not going to work. I'm not saying don't try new things. If you want to try comedy, go all into it. But if it doesn't feel natural and doesn't work, that's what I've had to remind myself. That's why, like, the companies that I've worked with, this started out, I was in a fortunate place where I was able to sell some real estate. So I had some money whenever I started to pursue this full time, to where I didn't have to work while I was doing it. And so I was very, very fortunate in that aspect, but when I started out, it was just, I just want to see if I can grow a following, making people laugh and do that. And then I stayed with myself, and companies will approach you on that. So, like, stick to what's true for you. If it's fun and it's natural and it feels good, and you're having fun doing it, then that's when it's going to work. And just don't give up on it too soon. Like, you're not going to grow a huge following overnight. Most likely you're not, so see what works and what doesn't work, play around with it, and then let companies in whatever space you're doing it approach you. And then only work with people that don't want to change your content for you and that feels right to work with. So the stuff and the brands that I've aligned myself with, it all makes sense. I do pickleball stuff because I was doing pickleball comedy. I do the CrossFit and fitness stuff because I was doing, that in the first place. So that's why I've got the RX Smart Gear, the Ice Barrel. So it's like they came to me. It was a good fit. They didn't want to change anything about what I was doing with my videos. We just added a little product placement here and there, and then boom, it works. So basically, like, don't sell yourself out just to get that paycheck and say, I make money doing social media stuff, because it's not going to last in my experience. Do it because you enjoy doing it. And if it turns into a job for you, then go with it.
I love those words that word of advice, because I think so many people they'd get all doe-eyed if they saw a paycheck coming in from one thing, regardless of it required them to be inauthentic, right?
Yeah. And you'll get these brands that, like, especially with TikTok, it's this way. Like, when you get into the creator fund in TikTok, it's like, they've got your email, that kind of stuff. So you'll get these just like random brands. And I gave into it at first in the beginning because I wanted to justify me doing this full time. Like, so they'll send you products, whatever it is, and you make a video for them in exchange. And it felt good. Like, I had to do that with the product stuff initially. Like, okay, I'm going to do this in exchange for a product. And then it grew so much to where I can't do that anymore. So I'm not going to just take your product. I'm going to take your product, and here's what I charge to make a video for you. So, like, know your worth. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
I had 10,000 TikTok followers, it made sense for me to do stuff in exchange for products. But at 145,000 TikTok followers and the analytics with views in the millions, don't sell yourself short. These companies can pay, they will pay, and you just gotta be in a position to ask for it, you know?
Yeah, I love that, dude. That is gold right there, to know your self-worth, because that's where I think a lot of people, especially because not everybody knows how to be an entrepreneur, they value themselves so low that they get scared to ask for that paycheck, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or they value themselves too high in the beginning. And
Yeah.
they get themselves right out of it. One of the reasons I took the product offers in the beginning was just to simply prove and show companies what I can do with their product. So I took here's an example. I took a T-shirt from a company that I still have done some stuff with today, or recently. We formed a good little relationship there. I took a shirt. I made a video in exchange for the shirt, and it got like 8 million views on TikTok. It
Wow.
wasn't a sponsored ad. Nobody was involved in pushing the video, nothing like that. It's just like, you send me a shirt and I'm going to make a video with it. And then it went viral, you know? So it's like, that's a good thing for me to reference, you know,
Yeah.
whenever someone comes back around and says, hey, would you make a video in exchange for a shirt? It's like, can't do it anymore, because the last time I did that, they got 8 million views. So, not saying that's going to happen this time, but I'm capable of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, that's so good, man. That's
It's
really
good
good.
practice taking the free products in exchange for a reel is my point there. So like,
Yeah.
do that enough times to get some practice with it, and then move on from it once you know you got it down and you're making quality content with their product.